This is the tale of two shooters. One was in Wisconsin, one was in Portland. One was a 17-year-old kid, one was a 48-year-old man. One was running away from protesters, one was running into protesters. How did they get treated differently in the media? We'll find out. The first one, his name is Kyle Rittenhouse. He's in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And from all the video evidence we've seen, he was there to help. He had a first aid kit and he was administering first aid to both sides. And he was there with a libertarian group who was asked to protect some property. So he got, from what we can see, he got into a confrontation with a bunch of guys earlier on in the night, and then they were attacking him because they started a dumpster on fire and they were going to try to push it into this building, and he put the fire out. So they started chasing him. Matter of fact, this guy right here started chasing him. We know because earlier on there was a video of him, and he was confronting these guys earlier on, and then he started chasing him. Well, let's just look at this guy, Joseph Rosenbaum. He's the first one that got shot. He is a convicted sex offender in Wisconsin. He's on the sex offender registry. All right. Number 2. Oh, look at how sweet he looks. Looks like a nice guy. Anthony Huber, who was the hero that tried to apprehend the gunman in Kenosha. After the gunman shot a BLM protester in the face, he ran up to him with his skateboard to stop him from shooting others. He was shot in the chest by the gunman and died. Rest in power, Anthony Huber. Well, Brianna Westbrook, you're an idiot, because that's not what happened. This kid was clearly running away from these people. He got tripped up, and then these guys started attacking him. One guy kicked him in the head. This guy came over and bashed him in the head with a skateboard, and then tried to take his gun away from him. Luckily, Kyle had it strapped to him, so he couldn't get it away. But here's a look at the hero. Let's see. He's got 6 different counts on him: felony, domestic abuse, use of dangerous weapon, second degree recklessly endangering safety. Number 2, strangulation and suffocation, felony, guilty, domestic abuse. Number 3, false imprisonment, guilty, domestic abuse, use of a dangerous weapon. And these last 3 the charges were dismissed, so that could mean anything. They were all misdemeanors. But you got battery, domestic abuse, disorderly conduct, domestic abuse, disorderly conduct, domestic abuse. So this guy is a domestic abuser. And let's see, what's the last hero? Number 3. Oh yeah, this guy. He Craig Gross Strokes, whatever his name is. He was convicted of felony burglary, and now he's carrying a weapon. It's against the law. He's not supposed to have a weapon if he's got a felony. But yet, here he is with the weapon. He clearly pointed the gun at this kid, and he shot him in the arm. He didn't shoot anybody else. He didn't go on a rampage. He wasn't killing BLM supporters. He killed 3 out of the 4 people that attacked him. That's it. That's all he killed. Matter of fact, his discipline was pretty remarkable. So what happens? Oh yeah, it's all Trump's fault. It's all Trump's fault. New York Times, you're disgusting. Trump defends 17-year-old supporter accused of killing two. And then the first line is, Joe Biden used a speech in Pittsburgh to argue that the president has made this country unsafe. He can't stop the violence because for years he's fomented it. Really. I thought these protests were about systemic racism, which means it was already built into the system before Donald Trump was even a candidate for president, let alone running for president. Seems to me that Obama pretty much had the same problem, and George Bush, well, we had 9/11 during his presidency, so that kind of took the focus off of that. But before that, we had Bill Clinton, who pretty much started all this shit with his reform. So I just wanted to show you this because here's all the headlines from this thing. CBS, the trusted CBS, Trump declines to condemn Kyle Rittenhouse for killing two protesters. The Telegraph, Donald Trump refuses to condemn Kenosha shooting suspect Kyle Rittenhouse. The Sun, Trump defends Kenosha gunman Kyle Rittenhouse, saying he acted in self-defense. This just in from The Hill, Trump on Kyle Rittenhouse. They very violently attacked him. CNN, reporter asked Trump to condemn Kenosha shooter. Watch his response. Trump refuses to condemn Kenosha shooter. I mean, it's all the same shit. They just get the same talking points from everybody. And it's just disgusting. And we'll see. Donald Trump appears to defend Kenosha gunman. Guardian News. Trump's disgusting words on Kyle Rittenhouse. Disgusting words. And now we'll watch what he actually said.
Are you going to condemn the actions of vigilantes like Kyle Rittenhouse?
We're looking at all of it. That was an interesting situation. You saw the same tape as I saw. And he was trying to get away from them, I guess, it looks like. And he fell. And then they very violently attacked him. And it was something that we're looking at right now, and it's under investigation. But I guess he was in very big trouble. He would have been. He probably would have been killed. But it's under investigation.
There you go. It's under investigation. That's what he said. It's under investigation. Yes, he threw his 2 cents in there a little bit, but we all saw the same video. Didn't lie about anything. He didn't make anything up. But the main thing is it's under investigation. So he didn't say, "Oh, I think that Kyle Rittenhouse was bad." Oh, okay. So that's your news, huh? This is who you guys listen to. Bunch of idiots. I want you to see how far they're going to take this. Video. Kenosha shooter Kyle Rittenhouse punches girl, then gets jumped and stomped out by bystanders. Now they have a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse with these stupid Crocs on, okay? And then they claim that this kid in the middle right here is Kyle Rittenhouse. And they can prove that because, oh, look, there's a shoe. I'll open this up a little more so you can see it. Oh, look, it's the same shoe that Kyle Rittenhouse has on in these photos. And you go read this article. There's no proof. There's no nothing. No bystanders or friends that say that this was Kyle Rittenhouse. They have no proof whatsoever that it was him. None. Zero. It's a kid that looks like Kyle Rittenhouse. It's kind of a blurry photo. It's kind of, a blurry picture, so you can't really tell. But this is how far they're going with it. All the way down to Twitter. They locked the account of Kyle Rittenhouse's attorney, John Pierce. Pierce, who, as Rittenhouse's attorney, is expected to defend the reputation of his client, said on Twitter that Kyle Rittenhouse will go down in history alongside that brave patriot at Lexington Green who fired the shot heard around the world on April 19th, 1775. I doubt that. Twitter promptly locked his account, requiring that he delete the tweet before being allowed back on the platform. This came just a day after Twitter did the same to Lynn Wood, another member of Rittenhouse's legal team. Wood, who previously won multi-million-dollar payouts for Richard Jewell and Nick Sandman, threatened to take Jack Dorsey threatened to take Jack Dorsey's ass down following the act of censorship. Twitter later said that locking Wood's account was a mistake and reinstated his account. But here's John Pierce. We've temporarily limited some of the account features, violating the rules against glorifying violence. We prohibit content that condones and celebrates acts of violence. Okay. A Twitter spokeswoman confirmed that Pierce's account has been locked, allegedly for glorifying acts of or perpetrators of violence. It's against the Twitter rules to condone or glorify acts of or perpetrators of violence, said the spokeswoman. Let me just make sure I get that right. The spokeswoman. I don't want to get doxxed because I misgendered somebody. Our team are proactively reviewing and taking action on tweets that glorify violence. These tweets will need to be removed by the account owners before they can continue to use Twitter. Accounts dedicated or repeatedly sharing this type of content will be suspended. Twitter has also censored the accounts of journalists and political writers who have tweeted in support of Rittenhouse, including the Gateway pundits Cassandra Fairbanks. I read Cassandra Fairbanks. She's pretty good. I like her. And Pedro Gonzalez, an editor for the pro-Trump commentary website American Greatness. So there you go. There's the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. They're taking down tweets from his lawyer. They didn't want anybody talking about this stuff. They really don't want anybody talking about this stuff. That's kind of in a nutshell. Oh, by the way, you see these three wonderful human beings that were shot by Kyle Rittenhouse, all have felony charges, all have they're all pretty bad dudes. I wonder why they want to defund the police so bad. Have up is Michael Rienal. I think that's how you say his name, Rienal. From Portland, Oregon. He's a 100% Antifa, according to his Twitter feed. And as you can tell, he's got the little masturbation emoji on his neck. Because that's all these people are doing is masturbating everybody. Anyways. He shot and killed a supposed Trump supporter. And there has been some controversy. This guy took these videos and you could see he followed him all the way through the whole thing. And one of the things they say is that this was a setup. They were looking for this guy, and they said in the video you can hear him say, they're right here, and then all of a sudden, bam, 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 they shot him in the chest. And this Michael Rienal was the shooter, and shooter and spotters pass by. They signal cameraman and then turn around to make sure they are getting followed. They're being followed, and it's supposedly these people were setting up a kill zone, and this guy is looking at the paintings on the boards and making small talk and just, kind of like it was kind of obvious. I mean, I can't say that this video proves anything about some kind of assassination, but that's what some of these people are claiming. So I can't tell, but there was a little bit of controversy over this. Okay, so anyways, the way things kind of happened in this video looks weird. Like this black Jeep comes up and the cameraman says, "Oh, good," and so the Jeep is sitting right here. The Jeep is actually sitting right here in the middle of the road. He just stopped in the middle of the road and just sat there. And then there's another car here. And then they spotted him, and then they started saying, he's over here, and then bam, 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 they shot him. Bam, 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 they shot him. And then all of a sudden, this Jeep pulls over and blocks off, and then another car comes up that has other people in it. Spotter after the shooting, this guy's going around policing up all the shells and everything else. So I mean, there's some controversy between this. Turns out that this guy did an interview with Vice. Like what, yesterday, 2 days ago? I had been 2 days ago because he got shot yesterday, but 2 days ago he did an interview with Vice, and he says it was in self-defense when in the video there's no absolute proof of any kind of self-defense whatsoever. I mean, you can see when he shoots, there's a spray of like mace, and the guy on the camera is like really acting it up about the mace. Oh, my eyes, and he's coughing. Fake. You can hear him. It's fake. You can tell. I mean, really faking it. And all of a sudden that black Jeep turns in, and they're there to cooperate with any assistance for witnesses, because they were sitting right there, but they were sitting in the middle of the street waiting for this event to happen, and then they pulled in, and then all of a sudden, they're there just to witness it, and they told the cops that he was in self-defense. But and you can't really see it, but what some of the other witnesses that were there says that the man was just walking down the street minding his own business, and this guy shot, and it looks like he had mace on him, and because you can see the first shot goes and then the mace goes, so it looks like the can kind of exploded with the first shot. Or it could be the guy turned around, saw the gun, and then started spraying the mace to try to get this guy off of him because he saw the gun. It could be that too. So this guy definitely didn't get sprayed before the mace went off. I can tell you that much. You can go watch the video. I can tell you that much right now. It was pretty much simultaneously when the gun went off in the spray. So anyways, this guy goes and he gets an interview with Vice. You see the difference? You see the difference there? Now, Kyle Rittenhouse got arrested the day after. Nothing but speculation on all these mainstream medias on what happened and who he was and blah, 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 blah. This guy gets to tell his story on Vice News. Now, you tell me who Vice News is working for. Who Vice News is propping up. Okay? Well, the day after he does his little interview with Vice, he gets killed by the cops. They found him because Vice probably led him right to him, which is great. The man being investigated in the shooting death of a member of the conservative group Patriot Prayer was killed Thursday night by police near Seattle, according to a report from the New York Times. So now this guy is from Portland and he was in Seattle. So he ran. Michael Forrest Rienal was encountered by a fugitive apprehension task force in Lacey, Washington, a city to the southwest of Seattle. According to the New York Times, an arrest warrant had been issued by the Portland police earlier Thursday, on the same day that Vice News published an interview with Mr. Rienal, in which he appeared to admit to shooting, saying, "I had no choice." In an odd twist, Trump had urged law enforcement to apprehend Rienal only moments before his fatal encounter with police. And of course, Donald Trump on the tweeters. Unnamed law enforcement confirmed Rienal's death to the Times. Rienal was identified on social media soon after the shooting of Aaron J. Danielson last weekend. So this happened last weekend, and it almost took a week to get to him. Wow. This happened almost a week afterwards. And I don't know what happened. Maybe Vice News did the right thing after they did this interview and called the cops and told them where they were. I don't know. It could be. Maybe they did the right thing. But they say that Rienal pulled a gun and he got blasted. Makes sense. I mean, this guy's a pretty bad actor. Rienal, who had described himself as 100% Antifa, told his Vice interviewer that he was being hunted. "They're out hunting me," Rienal explained. "There's nightly posts of the hunt, and where they're going to be hunting. They made a post saying the deer are going to feel lucky this year because it's open season on Michael right now." Michael Rienal was 48 years old. All right, so obviously you shot a man and then you ran. You're going to get hunted. That's the way shit works around here, dumbass. Well, it seems like Rienal fired off 40 to 50 rounds before being killed by members of the U.S. Marshals Task Force. The Portland Police Bureau had issued a warrant for Rienal's arrest earlier Thursday and asked the U.S. Marshals to find and apprehend him. And it just goes on about what happened. The man got out of his vehicle and began to fire what they believe was a semi-automatic rifle at the SUVs. They said they heard 40 to 50 shots, and then officers returned fire, hitting the man. Yeah, okay. Well, this is how good this guy is, because, like, in an exclusive, his sister would say, I wouldn't say this counts as bad news. Sister of Portland Antifa gunman reacts to his death after he was shot dead by U.S. Marshals. As she voices concern he'll become a martyr and an excuse for more violence and protests. So he wasn't really loved by his family, I guess. He seems like a pretty much a shithead. Again, another one. Defund the police. We want to get rid of the police. Why is that? Maybe because you're a freaking douchebag that is in conflict with the police all the time. Anyways, this is the difference now with Twitter. Okay, here is all of these people supporting Michael Rienal, and you can go on there and see all these posts. Still, none of them gotten taken down. None of them. Not one of these posts have been taken down yet. Not one of these accounts have been blocked or banned or even suspended. Nothing. That's the difference. Okay? I'm going to show you a little something about how they're doing this now. President Trump can't go in with federal forces to stop this stuff because these mayors and governors are it's funny because these mayors and governors are rejecting President Trump's help and then turning around and saying, this is Trump's America. No, dipshit. This is you doing this. You're doing this. And anybody who says this is Trump's America is an idiot. And you should not be listening to those people because they're freaking retarded. But anyway, so anyways, this is how Trump is kind of getting around it. He's deputizing Oregon State troopers. So they're kind of pulling dual duty. They're doing the state police work, but they're also deputized as a U.S. Marshal. So they can, since the prosecutors in Portland refused to do anything about this, they're able to arrest these people under federal charges, which is great because these people will be tried and held accountable under federal jurisdiction, and the state cops can still go in there and do it because they're still part of they're still in their jurisdiction as a state trooper. So that's kind of how he's getting around this, and I think that's actually who killed the Rional douchebag there. So I think it's the state cops that were deputized as marshals. So there you go. The difference in the news media. They tried to give him his say in on the airwaves. I really hope that Vice News did the right thing, and that's why they found him and they shot him. Actually, they didn't shoot him. He was blasted because he started shooting first, from what it says. But I really hope Vice News did the right thing, and they weren't just, complacent in all this. So we'll see. I'm sure that news will come out. I'm not a big Vice News fan, but the law is the law, and I really hope they did the right thing there, because we're talking about murder. So that's the difference between the two. Also, one was in self-defense, obviously clear as day, self-defense, and all the news media is in Twitters and Facebooks and all that shit is trying to deny people being able to say it was self-defense, and then the other one was murder, and then nothing. We don't see it. We don't know nothing about it. So there you go. Welcome back to another Commie Kindergarten. Unfortunately, I don't have a video of this. I so wish we had a video of this. But I got this article from the New York Post. Hopefully, maybe someday the cop cam will come out on this. They'll release it or something. But Antifa commander with flamethrower bursts into tears during arrest, cops say. Matthew Banta. An Antifa leader known as Commander Red was busted carrying a flamethrower to a Wisconsin Black Lives Matter rally and dropped into a fetal position and began crying when stopped by cops, officials said. Matthew Banta, 23, is known to be a violent Antifa member who incites violence in otherwise relatively peaceful protests. See, this is where I told you guys that these people exist. And you peaceful protesters out there, you need to call these guys out. A criminal complaint in his Green Bay arrest record insisted, according to W. Bay. He was carrying stickers and a flag for the controversial group, the name of which is short for anti-fascist, along with the military-grade 5-minute smoke grenades, fireworks, rockets, and a flamethrower. I don't know how this kid's carrying a flamethrower because spaghetti arms. Banta was stopped after being spotted with a whole bunch of white people with sticks, baseball bats, and helmets heading toward the BLM event in Green Bay, police said in a criminal complaint. The others fled when a cop blocked them with his squad car, but Banta was stopped and dropped into the fetal position and began crying. He's so badass. He complained that the officer got on top of him, which police denied. It's worrisome when people associated with Antifa come here to Green Bay from out of town for the purposes of committing violent acts, Green Bay Police Chief Andrew Smith told the station. At the same time, at the time of Saturday's arrest, Banta was out on a $10,000 cash bond after being accused of pointing a loaded gun at a police officer, as well as biting and kicking a cop at... He's biting and kicking. At a protest earlier this month. Oh my God, this is just the best. A condition of his bond was that he can't have a dangerous weapon, according to the Brown County District Attorney's Office. The 23-year-old from Neenah, about 40 miles south of Green Bay, was charged with obstructing an officer and 2 counts of felony bail jumping after Saturday's arrest. The report said he was released late Monday on $2,500 bond, court records show. He was one of 15 arrested at Saturday's Black Lives Matter protest that turned violent in the city and was deemed an unlawful assembly. Burning buildings, hurting people, shooting, looting, vandalizing. There's absolutely no way that this is a form of protest, Smith told Fox 11 of his zero tolerance stance. That's criminal behavior, he insisted. So look at this little guy. Man, this is who we're up against, huh? This is what we're up against. You dummies don't understand. It's going to be a short fight. It's going to be a short fight. With your biting and your kicking. And I never heard of going into a fetal position and crying as a defensive stance. Oh my God. Anyways, I hope the video comes out of this soon. I really do. It's going to be great. All right. So anyways, that's it for me today. Love you. See ya.